Hi, and welcome back to the Mental Health Show. I hope that you enjoyed last week's episode where we talked about university life and its effect on our mental health and how we can, maneuver through that period of our lives without having so much damage on our mental health. Damage on our mental health, from the last episode, we saw that it is inevitable when you're at campus, but how can we manage it more? Okay, today I have another special, very beautiful guest called Pesh. And Pesh is going to give herself a further introduction. I don't like normally introducing my guests, like preempting what they might want to introduce themselves as, maybe, something else. So I give them the liberty to, please introduce yourself. However, the little about I know about Pesh is that she's a student, but also a very influential woman in female spaces and fronting the feminist agenda, which brings us back to telling you what today's video is about. Today's video, we're going to describe for you what feminism is, and we're also going to show you, I'm going to have a conversation with patients, and we're going to talk about how does being a feminist, especially in the era of social media, affect the mental health, affect the people, how you relate to people around you, or how people relate to you, or how situations that happen around you, so, Pesh.
Yes.
Do you want to tell the viewers who you are?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I'm Patience, just like she said, Patience Pony Aikoru, and I'm a final year student of law at Uganda Christian University. I also serve there as the guild speaker. We are soon handing over the mantle. And yes, I am also in feminist spaces, like you've said. I'm a founder and team leader of FemTalk West Nile, a community-based organization in Koboko district. Yes, and I'm engaged in so much of leadership. I'm passionate about it. Yes.
Okay, I have Mukulu Wano, and let's kneel down. Me, I know her as Pesh, but if you don't have a friend, please don't call her Pesh. She doesn't know you like that, right? So, let's just, attack the bull by its horn.
Okay.
What is feminism? I think everybody has their own definition.
That's right.
What is feminism?
Wow. Well, to me, feminism is the movement that has come up to struggle for the equality of all sexes, that is both the males and the females and any other gender, in relation to equal opportunities, resources in the economic, social, and the spiritual spheres, and yes, anything to do with resources and opportunities.
Okay, that's basically what feminism is, and I'm also learning. You're going to learn, and I'm also learning. By the time the video ends, we will We'll be learning and unlearning. We'll be learning and unlearning from the feminist herself. So, as you know, it's not a political show or a program show, so I will not be going deep into what feminism is, what do they lead. No. What I want to know is, I know that there are types of feminism, and I'd like to know what type you subscribe to, or what type of feminist you are, so that we can dive into how your mental health can be affected.
Okay. Yes. Well, I subscribe to African feminism because, one, of course, I'm African, and then two,
What's that?
African feminism is still the whole definition of feminism that I've given, but subscribe to African roots. There's so much feminism out there. We have the radical, liberal. There is feminism that is emanated from European cultures. But then, being an African, what works for us as Africa might not be the same that is working in Europe. So African feminism is basically also still a movement for equal opportunities in the social, cultural, and economic spheres, but with relation to our cultural backgrounds as Africans. So there are certain roots as Africans that we can't erase because that's us. Yeah, even as we are still feminists.
So you guys, as much as you disagree with some level of patriarchy in culture, you don't entirely wipe out.
Yes, we entirely wipe out actually the patriarchal system.
In the
yes,
African
we are fighting
culture.
The system and not the individuals.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. That brings me now, in that type of African feminism, I'm thinking you're wiping out patriarchy in African traditional society.
Yes.
So as an African feminist, and as feminist was like destroying the patriarchy in the 8 years.
Yeah.
Especially in the digital era, there's a lot of advocacy of feminism, advocacy that goes on online using social media platforms. And me, and I'm sure all the viewers, see the kind of hate speech or the backlash that happens when feminists are destroying the patriarchy.
That's true.
How does that affect you as Pesh? Not even as a feminist. Of course, as a feminist, I think maybe you feed off that. But Pesh, you, when you go back, your phone out, when you go back in your bed, if somebody threw an insult about something or at you, does it affect you mentally?
Well, yes, it does, and no. I'll start with a yes. With the yes is the fact that I'm so much rooted into the whole sisterhood that when I see another sister out there being, backlashed at or pointed fingers at or being abused on media, I feel so bad because I want to take a turn. I want to go and comment and, put that person in their place. But then you get back and you're like, you have to choose, you have to weigh. Talking to that person online, how much more is it going to do to improve the whole status quo? How is it going to improve your line of what you're doing? So the fact that it still ponders in my head really affects me. Because when you do not speak out something that you've really thought of for long, it gets to you and you're like, you failed, you should have done it, you get to regret about it. And then apart from the sisterhood, personally, there are times, of course, I speak something, I've not had any backlash. Except once I think I was appreciating the movement in Zambia and someone went, it wasn't a direct attack, the person was commenting and saying women should not wear mini skirts because you're showing your bodies, you're being indecent, so that should lead to your rape. And I didn't comment back. Instead, my other sisters in the movement came and commented. So I must say, yes, I've been affected a lot by that. But I also still overcome them in different avenues. And then the no is, of course, the fact that I've not been backlashed at. But I believe so many feminists out there actually go through that. Some are directly attacked. Your whole history and background is brought up, or the cyber attacks, they get to threaten you and they're like, I'm going to post all your personal life. And that's really a lot.
That's very sad that you guys are attacked in your DMs. But I also know, I've actually seen some anti-feminist people who have no shame. They will attack you right there in your face. How does that affect your emotion? I know that, I don't know, but there's a misconception. I don't know if it's true, I'm just saying, but that feminists are emotional advocates. Has something triggered me? I'm going to speak about it. Now, but how about someone who comes to you, attacks you for saying something like that, but they're attacking you in a totally different realm? Let's say if you've posted and maybe talked about rape, and somebody says, how can you talk about rape when last night you were in a bar wearing a mini skirt and you were high?
Okay.
And you were throwing yourself around, and they're literally attacking you. And of course, even if it's not you, they're attacking another sister who maybe commented under your post. Doesn't it affect you? Are feminists actually emotional? Because if they are, I'm worried about their mental health.
Well, I think women by virtue in general are really emotional beings.
Absolutely.
But the whole emotional intelligence thing is what matters or what differs. So the fact that not all feminists are emotional or not all women are emotional, I must say it now to the viewers that women by virtue are really emotional. But how we handle our emotions varies. So like you've said, when someone attacks my person or whatever act I've actually done at the moment, then I should be able to know how to handle it. Actually, these feminist spaces around, there's Frauen Initiative, the Kina Mamas, Farm Fort and all, they have sessions of self-care and sessions of feminist sisterhood where we talk about emotional intelligence. How do you attack? It's just like any normal, ordinary human being, even if it's a man and someone attacks your person, definitely you're going to become outrageous or rage out and speak back at them, but we keep being told, now when such a thing happens, how do you handle it? Must you go again and begin abusing the person? Must you waste all your energy and effort talking back to that person? Or you can actually choose to ignore, because society will always have such negative energy towards us. And mentally, of course, it affects us just like any other human being. But then you just have to probably, I don't know, if your self-care is crying it out, cry it out, or get off media, or respond back or something. Just, you know, or you maybe resist from responding back, but it's our mental health that really matters as well, like you've said. So
I think that it's good that you guys have how do you call it? You have initiatives to calm the anger, because the stress that comes with being a radical feminist or someone that is speaking against the majority of the population, and you know, speaking against something that has been there for a long time. I think that it's good that you have self-care
sessions.
Are feminists angry people?
Yes, we are angry at the system. Like I said at the beginning, feminism is fighting the system. And I know there are so many people out there that think feminism is all about fighting an individual. But from all the spaces I've attended, from the Forum for Women in Democracy, Akina Mama, the UN Women, different sessions I've been to and leadership trainings, I have come to learn, and also through the books I've read, that feminism is fighting the system. That's why we also have men who are in feminism. So we're fighting the patriarchal system that is limiting another set of human beings from accessing something, and yet it's their human right to access it. I think you have seen posters around saying, women's rights are human rights as well. So when you say feminists are angry, I want to agree to that. Yes, we are angry at the system that is stopping some other person out there from achieving something just because you're saying she's a mere woman or he's a mere disabled man. Yeah. So I'm trying to put in both gender, because at the beginning my description was that it's fighting for equal opportunity of sexes.
Actually, I was going to ask you. I think my next question is going to, resolve around, do you guys one time also fight for men's rights?
Well, we would fight for men's rights if at the time also the men are being oppressed. But the fact that for as long as majority of women are the ones being oppressed, we are going to fight for the majority.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But trust me, it's all about the system, and we never, I think so many feminist houses or organizations really fight for both sides. It's just that the men probably never come out so clearly, or they think maybe they are man enough, they don't need help, but we still help some men.
Okay, okay, amazing. So you, at the beginning of, it's good, what I pick from here is feminists are angry at the system.
Yes.
And some of the things you guys advocate for, actually all the things you guys advocate for, especially if it's about women, are coming from a place of passion. Like either I have witnessed this, or been there, or it's really aching me. And I've also picked that women are emotional people.
Generally, really, but they vary.
I mean, look at me.
I'm too emotional sometimes.
100% of the time. Women are emotional people, and emotional rage is a thing.
Yeah.
I think what I pick is you guys have initiatives of self-care.
Yes,
like how do I go back and recharge? Yeah. How do you guys have time for that?
Yeah.
And that's good. I think that's like the most important thing. There's a lot of, you can't surround yourself with negativity all the time. I know as a feminist, so many things might happen online, especially on the phone, on Twitter. So many things will be which are negative, which are going to trigger you.
Yeah.
And you want to step on a person's head. But if you take time to recharge, redirect yourself, like you're centered on ATS, which is amazing, then you're like, let me now look for and I'm not going to comment on anything that is to do with the digital, maybe how do you call it, imbalance, gender imbalance. I'm not going to comment about political. I'm just going to comment about African, anything that's African. So you kind of need to recognize your niche, because you can't be everything.
True.
You are not being everything. I'm going to now ask you a very pertinent question. The question is going to be about Pesh Pony, a feminist. Everybody knows Pesh Pony is a feminist.
Yeah.
How does it affect the way you relate to other people, even if it's just not about feminism. Let's say in your law class, in your law class, you're not a feminist, you're a student.
Yeah, I'm a student.
Has it affected how your fellow people maybe discuss with you, or has it affected the way you pick your friends? Has it affected the conversations you have, even if they're casual conversations? You're like, oh, what did you say? If any opportunity to,
Yeah.
or if your dad tells you, kneel down and get me a glass of water, and you're like, Dad, you're crushing the patriarchy, Does it sometimes topple over?
It does not at all. One, because most of my friends, I think, who are actually probably watching this show, know the kind of feminism I subscribe to, and I've always defined to them that I am fighting a system. Recently, we had an argument about the maternity leave being given to the women, and then the paternal leave was only to men who are with their married women. So there was a question that was asked of, why can't the paternal leave be given to a man, even if it's their side chick that is pregnant or something?
I don't know if you've heard about myths in feminism. Have you heard about myths in feminism?
What
like
feminism?
Myths.
The myths, yeah.